You best believe it. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today or year, coming with another wonderful episode of Doppio Dope. It's been a minute because we've been busy, we've been doing things. But right over here, you know him from such titles as
Don't do it.
Ready
Don't do
Player
it.
One. You know him from such titles
Whoa.
as Devil in a Blue Dress. You know him in such titles as Face Off, International Man of Mystery, Times Man of the Year, your friend and mine, Clement Bryant.
Man, again, we do this all the time. Don't lie to the people because they're gonna Google my resume and be like, these are all lies, do not hire this guy.
He ain't never do this.
Like, he ain't never do this. Like, I've done some dope stuff, but like, nah, don't lie. Don't lie to the people. No. What's good?
I ain't gonna lie to the people, but
don't lie to the people.
with that
nah,
said,
with you.
it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time,
man.
so I'm glad that we got a chance to get back together. And there's a little news out in them streets, going on. In our multimedia universe, if you will. But now, let's go ahead and knock this out of the way.
I mean, yeah, I'm on the fence about it too, but I guess we got to talk about this whole Star Wars discourse that happened.
Yeah, Star Wars theory versus Star Wars proper. All right, so if you didn't know, there's a channel on YouTube called Star Wars Theory. It's a guy, he like super loves Star Wars, and he talks about, like the movies, just everything surrounding it, books, comics, all that stuff. Runs down like anthologies and stuff, tells you like characters, bios, and everything. Dude's all about Star Wars. I mean, it's called Star Wars Theory, so he's all about it. And if you didn't know, Mandalorian had their finale, and Luke Skywalker was in it. He came through. He was like, "Ka ka 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 wow," right. And he was mad sweet in it. And people were like, "Oh snap, Luke is back." Well, I mean, technically he's not back, but we're seeing Luke again. So a lot of people had posted their reactions to YouTube. And Star Wars Theory, he showed his reaction, and he was actually crying when this happened. And I've heard other people saying that they were moved, deeply moved, that they dropped a tear. Like, I heard this from other people. So it's not like he's the only one that cried or was deeply moved by it. Like, even I said in my review, when I saw the X-Wing, I was like, don't you do it to me. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Then when I saw the green saber, I was like, hold up. And then when I saw the glove on the hand, I was like, oh, snap. But I didn't cry, but I was super hyped.
Yeah.
So, before we get into it, what was your response, Mr. Bryant, when you saw the X-Wing, when you saw the green saber? How did you feel?
See, okay, here's the thing, and don't get mad at me, but like, because we knew that there was going to be a Jedi that came back was going to make an appearance because of like 2 episodes beforehand. Mm-hmm. I was hoping it would have been. I hope it would have been Ezra.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to do Ezra or Cal Kestis from Fallen Order. So I was wondering if it was going to be one of those two.
Right, or it could have been Kanan. Like, I think that either way, that could have been cool.
Yeah, because they could have always went back and did something weird with the World Between Worlds to get Kanan or whatever. So
And I mean, like, I like Luke. Obviously I like Luke Skywalker. Who doesn't like Luke Skywalker? But it's also kind of like I wanted to see someone else rather than just like I wanted to like push the narrative further from more of the universe, but not just Luke. But that said, I have nothing against bringing back Luke Skywalker. Yeah. I was the kind of minority that I have to be careful how I say this. I liked what they did with Luke in Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to be worried about it. I enjoyed Last Jedi. No, I like Luke.
But it's like a lot of people did it. But I appreciated that because it's like the characters that we have, and I feel the same way about Marvel, DC, Star Trek. Like the characters aren't going to be the same character
For
when
the
they
whole lives.
grow up. They're not going to be the same character. Well, it's
Yeah.
like, well, you have like Spock has pretty much been the same character. Spock's gone through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
and now that we've seen Star Trek Discovery, we realize the Spock that we know was very different from young Spock. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Young Spock is more of like, Spock has always had kind of like a stature about him. He's not cocky, but he's just moved purely by logic.
Yeah.
Whereas young Spock is like kind of
young Spock was definitely on some like leave me alone status.
Yeah. like I worked on Star Trek Discovery season 2. So I was like,
he was definitely like leave me alone, be out of my face.
He was like, Michael, and I regret it. He was like, I regret my relationship with you. I was like, damn. Like
that was tough. That was a very different version of Spock. And in this, you get to see the dichotomy versus the young Luke and the old Luke. Now, of course, since Last Jedi came out 3 years ago, you let me know 3 years ago. What up, Jenna James in the chat? Since it came out 3 years ago, we know that there's a lot of people that do not like old Luke or the characterization of old Luke. So in The Mandalorian, they got to see the young Luke. You know what I'm saying? They got to see Luke 5 years after Return when he was trying to rebuild the temple. And you've seen a little bit, I believe we've seen a little bit of it in the comics as well, in the main Star Wars comic book line. So this Luke is much different than the old Luke because the young Luke, the fresh young Luke, has just beat the Empire. He's high on that. People love him. He's hero level. He's rebuilding the temple. He's full of hope. He hasn't lost that hope because he hasn't lost his nephew and seen many of people that were under his care and guidance and protection killed. So he hasn't. So with that said, he hasn't lost that, and people wanted that. People missed that, and I think people definitely wanted to see that in old Luke. And the thing is, you're not always guaranteed when people grow that they're going to be exactly the same or even similar. Life things happen and people change. So they didn't like the old Luke. They love the young Luke. In Mandalorian, they get the young Luke. Everybody's excited. Everybody's hyped. And on Twitter, I even saw people tagged me in conversations saying, hey, isn't this episode of Mandalorian proof that what Rian Johnson did was wrong in Last Jedi? And I'm like, well, no, not really. And then I was like, also at the same time, y'all gotta let it go. It's over. I'm like, y'all gotta let this go.
I follow like my two franchises right now to follow like religiously is like Marvel and Star Wars, right? Those are my two. Whereas like I understand I keep up what's happening with Star Trek. And I keep up what's happening, and I obviously know what's happening with DC and some of the anime stuff. But it's like those are the two things I follow. So I think it's like, but I'm like over it because I'm like, we have so much more to look forward to. But it's like we're not trying to rehash old stuff. It's just like in our discussions about what happened.
Yeah, the community is rehashing old stuff. We're not rehashing it. We've watched Last Jedi, let it go. Shouts out to Thomas D. And it's like, then they're like, doesn't this prove that Last Jedi was wrong? No, it doesn't prove anything. It just proves that young Luke was straight fire and old Luke was tired, worn down, beaten, and has given up on himself. That's what it does. I mean, it proves no different than was already proven. So with that said, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing, and it's like I can't remember if I've seen anything like this, but the way that Luke's kind of, I don't want to say downfall, but kind of approach post Kylo Ren turning to the dark side, kind of not parodies, but kind of reflects what happened with Obi-Wan and Anakin in the prequels. So it's kind of like
they're destined to always give up on themselves, kind of thing.
Right. And like while Obi-Wan didn't give up on himself, he did harbor a lot of feelings about like Anakin going to the dark side because Anakin was like, you're my brother, Anakin, but also he's like like a little bit of a surrogate father because he lost Uncle Owen, or not that's Luke, sorry. But like you had all this stuff happen, so it's kind of like that's why I appreciated it, because it was a little bit of a callback to what happened.
Yeah.
And now I think we have so much stuff to look forward to that it's just kind of like,
yes,
cool.
Tons of stuff. So we have tons of stuff in the future to look forward to from the Investor Day, and people still want to dig up a movie that's been done. So anyway, they did, the reactions come out, and Star Wars Theory makes a reaction, and you see him deeply emotionally moved. He's crying. I don't know whether it's real or not. Some people say it's fake. Some people say it's not fake. I don't know. But the bottom line in the video, he cries. All right. So on Twitter, there's a user that puts out his video of him crying, and is kind of like trolling him and making fun of him for crying. And Pablo Hidalgo, who is, I would say, probably the head of the Star Wars story group.
He's like high up.
Yeah, he's
like
high
really
up.
High up. Yeah.
At least the way he's been presented to me is that he's the leader of the story group. But maybe he's not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't super care about all of the inner workings of like job titles. But so he makes a statement that basically says, you know what I'm saying, keep them emotions, or sorry, excuse me. Emotions are not for sharing.
Not for sharing, yeah.
Yes. And that was in response to, of course, the video of Star Wars Theory crying. And this thing blows up because Star Wars Theory has a few subscribers.
I mean, few is putting it lightly. He's got like
he has almost 3 million subscribers. So, you know, people jump up like, hey, yo, man, look, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Because they're supporting their boy. So there's people on both sides going back and forth. So much so that it gets picked up by Variety. And
it's crazy, man. Like I was surprised.
Yeah, and even that's how you know it must have been a slow news day. But it did involve
That's
Star
what a
Wars.
lot of people said.
And Star Wars was hot. Star Wars was hot because the finale just happened, so they were trying to get that Star Wars algorithm. So you know, they come out, they write about it, and in the article it says, you know, how Lucasfilm execs tweet reopened the wounds of The Last Jedi. And in the video that Star Wars Theory makes, he does reference The Last Jedi, I believe, 3 times. It might be 2, but I believe it's 3 times. And, you know, people are saying, like, this isn't about The Last Jedi. I'm like, well, then why y'all keep talking about it? Y'all can't keep The Last Jedi out y'all mouth. Even in his video, he references it 3 times.
See, here's my thing.
Y'all are saying it. Variety isn't picking this up from nowhere. You think they didn't watch the video? They watched it. They see people on Twitter talking about The Last Jedi. But anyway, outside of that, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, I think we should just keep it positive and keep going because,
I'm just trying to give them all the avenues.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. Yeah.
I'm just trying to give them all the avenues.
Yeah.
So, you know, Pablo Hidalgo does come out. He makes an apology, but then he also makes a picture of the tweet and makes it his like Twitter banner or whatever. So there's like, I don't know, some salt or whatever between them two, whatever it is. It might be personal. I'm not sure. Some people are saying Pablo Hidalgo is satirical and sarcastic, and that's how he is, but he's not, you know, trying to be mean. He's just playing around. I don't know the man personally. I don't know.
I don't know him either.
It's become a thing about whether people, especially high up at a company, should even satirically kind of go after, you know, fans. And that's what I want to get to with you and I. Do you think this is something that Pablo should have just let slide? Should just let, like, don't say nothing. Like, or is it like, yo, it's fair game, we just have it, like, because he might, I don't know him. He might be like, yo, man, we just playing, having fun. We all kicking it on the internet. I'm just playing around.
But that's the thing. But also Pablo's like Dave, where he doesn't spend a lot of, he doesn't spend a lot of time on Twitter or Instagram and social. He just doesn't.
Maybe he was hacked.
That said, nah. But like, I think, and here's the thing, it's like, I've like, you know this, I worked on a lot of fandoms that shall remain nameless. I worked a lot of things, and even though I'm a fan of it, I have to make sure I'm quiet. And it's like,
yeah.
And even now, I'm still working on like 3 or 4 shows that there's big fandoms attached to it. So it's like I have to stay objective because I know if I say something, it's a headline. So I think, that's something where it's like, personally, I would have just been like, cool, he's crying. All right, I get it.
Yeah.
Move on. Like that's what I would have done. But Pablo did what he did. But he did apologize. He did apologize. He was like, but he's also like, I'm just known to be sarcastic, and I'm like, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
So
then the whole thing, about like, it's not professional and this and the third, and professional is something that's subjective. Because let's be honest, look at Wendy's Twitter. Would you consider that professional? But I mean, it works for them. Every job sets their own atmosphere and their tone. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what's professional, I think, is what we're considering sort of like 1980s, corporate office or 90s corporate office atmosphere when, since the boom of the startup, that's changed everything. What's professional? I have worked in places as an artist. I've worked in places where there is a keg in the break room.
Oh yeah,
and wine in the break room. So and there's ping pong tables and stuff. And these are people that are making 100, 150. I mean, even some people are like, like 85, stuff like that per year. So you can kind of miss me with the like, it's not professional stuff, because to be honest, professional is kind of a vague term now.
It is, but it's also like, I think where it's like professional is like keeping that line between fan and someone who's on the inside making the stuff. That's like I think a lot of people have different, like, you have a version of professional that you're like, this is what professional is to me, whereas professional is me, it's like you have to keep that line, because I think that line is something that you do not cross. It's one thing if you're like an influencer and then you get hired to work for Star Wars and people know you and people would be like, okay, cool, this is how he is. We understand him. We have a good relationship with him. It's a whole nother thing when you're not on social a lot and people only know you by the tone or your approach, or your tweets, or your Instagram posts, your Instagram stories, whatever you have it be. So it's like you have to maintain a line between being fan first and then also being a professional on the inside, which is hard for a lot of people.
Because honestly, what I wouldn't have done what Pablo did. Like if I saw that, my tweet probably would have been like, "Yo, man, let the dude love Star Wars, man." And then I probably would. My sarcasm would have been like, sarcasm would have probably been on the other end, being like, "Yo, let him love Star Wars. I ain't trying to get fired. Yo, let these people love Star Wars. I need a check."
Or you just don't say anything at all.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you can still be playful and fun, but do it in a way where like ain't nobody mad about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, let these people love Star Wars. Let them buy Lego sets. Let them buy book bags and comics, please.
Hey, and I mean, it's like, and it's just like, I think it's just like, I think where I come from, I'm in a place of privilege to be working on the stuff that I work on. So it's like, I'm always really aware of that line, but also being in that line helps inform me of the stuff that I have to do in my job. So it's kind of like, so it's like just trying to keep that. But like, I will say, Pablo apologized. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
We got like, here's the thing, man.
We got tons of Star Wars coming, man.
We got
tons of Star Wars. We got some good stuff coming.
Man. Dude,
well, I hope it's good. I ain't seen it, but we got some good stuff coming.
Dude, I'm so hyped on the Ahsoka series. I'm like hyped. Rosario came out all guns blazing.
Yeah, and see, the funny thing about season 2, what I like about season 2 is also what I dislike about season 2. We got
I
to
know what
see
you're about
we
to
got
say.
to see people like Luke and Ahsoka and Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
But what I loved about The Mandalorian is that we were seeing new things and not tying ourselves to previous story baggage that's going to make us ask, like, hold up. So if Luke now has Grogu, is Grogu going to say, like, yo, man, there's another Jedi you don't even know about? And guess what? Your daddy was her teacher. Word? Seriously? Maybe I should find her. See, those are the things that should not come to my mind. but that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's a whole
like
other thing.
just the fact, like, dude, like, okay, on some like, dude, when Rosario came out, I was hyped. Like, it was midnight in my house, and you know, I'm staying with my girlfriend because I'm like helping her through the whole COVID stuff, and like I was like, oh yes, let's do this. Yes,
let's go.
Let's get this bread.
Let's go.
Get this bread. Okay, white lightsabers, dope. And then my girlfriend was like, she had to tell me to quiet down. But like
that final scene in the courtyard or whatever, I was like, oh snap.
And then she makes the mistake of saying the word. Where's Thrawn? I was like, hold up.
Like, hold up, say what?
I was like, what? So like, I was gonna ask you, now that we know that Thrawn is probably becoming live action, who do we got? Who do we want? People have been like Cumberbatch.
No, I think he's too
is tied up in
overused. I think he's too overused. Tied up.
Yeah.
I really want to get some unknown, like really dope theater person. And
I think
since we're way past Rebels timeline, has to be an older gentleman. And
it's hard. I think
older gentleman, but I want to see if we could get an unknown, like someone who's really dope in theater, but maybe not unknown. I mean, of course, in theater, but unknown to movie Hollywood types. Because I'm always for let's get somebody new, let's get somebody fresh that we ain't seen before. But Thrawn is my favorite Star Wars character, so I was like, word. I do have some sort of questions, but I will let it also ride because he was out in the far reaches. Maybe something happened where he got caught in the world between worlds or something, and he's not super old yet. I don't know. I have no idea. But
there's some questions. Like I think if they do anything, it's either one of two things. You bring back Lance. You bring back Lance from him voicing it, but you bring him into live action. Or my pick would have been Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott.
Okay, so hot priest on Fleabag. And he's you know what I'm talking about,
Once
right?
You said it. Oh, you know what? I'm not. You know what? Fine, I'll allow it.
but
he
like
said hot priest.
But that's
Fleabag.
Also, parlance for his name is he's a hot priest, and he's but also he's funny. He plays Will's father in the current season, His Dark Materials, and he was Moriarty. And was it Sherlock? I think it was.
But yeah, I know the guy you're talking about now. Yeah. I'm down with that. I'm definitely down with
I think he would be dope. Like what he did with Sherlock, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's bring that in. Let's get some of that energy into Star Wars. I will be down with that.
Yeah, and
like,
shouts to ZSB Lou in the chat. He said he was crying like how these MCU fans cried over Endgame or DC fans crying over Snyder Cut. So yeah, so let it go. Let the man cry.
I mean,
people was crying over Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Let the man cry. You want to cry?
I mean,
cry.
dude, I cried. Dude, I was at one of the first screenings for Endgame on the Disney lot. Everybody in that theater was just like all up straight crying when Tony died at the funeral scene at the end. Oh, spoilers if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame by now.
Yeah, man, look, once it's out on home release or streaming, I ain't trying to hear it.
I'm just saying.
Thomas D says, Star Wars Episode 9, The Trail of Tears. Y'all wrong on that one. And then ZSB Lou did say, like you'd never see Feige go at MCU fan like that, or Taika or Filoni. No. True. No. Yeah, I don't think I ever see Kevin. Always seems very straight-laced kind of guy, and he's very good at them secrets. Like Kevin Feige, yo, he will navigate them secrets. You'll ask him a question, be like, "That's very good. I can't wait to see what happens in the future." Be like, "You know what's happening in the future."
But like, here's the thing.
Tell me the truth.
Feige, if he was an actor, would be good as like old school Nick Fury when he was white. Like,
yeah, because that dude be having some secrets.
He just like his secrets have secrets. He knows what's happening not only for Phase 4, but also for Phase 5, and he's probably already thinking of Phase 6. Like,
and Jenna James, I guess, for your Thrawn, Jenna James says Idris Elba, Michael Fassbender, Hugo Weaving, Tom Hiddleston, Lars Mikkelsen, John Hamm. You know what?
John Hamm
will be mad
dope.
at John Hamm.
See, John Hamm.
I might not be mad at John Hamm.
If John Hamm was like, did what he did as Don Draper.
I'm not mad at a John Hamm pick.
I'm not mad.
But then
Lee
Pace, Anthony Starr. Anthony Starr, which, whoa, that would be, you know he's high on my list. Anthony Starr as Thrawn, yo, you know he's high on my list because that man can give you a face of crazy. Like, he can give you a face of crazy where you like, yo, somebody need to put this man down because he crazy.
But that's the thing. Thrawn isn't crazy. Thrawn is like, he's not crazy, but he's like very, but also very reserved. It's like the way that Thrawn was portrayed in Rebels was pretty much on point. Yeah. Lars was like on point as Thrawn. So, and I think, and here's the thing. For me, that was my first interest in Thrawn. I didn't read any of the novels. When I watched Rebels, I was like, this dude is dope. Let me go read some of the stuff that he was on. I was like, bro, this dude is dope. I need to know more about him.
My intro to Thrawn was the audiobook for Heir to the Jedi, which isn't canon anymore. It's called Legends or whatever. And now also the new Thrawn book that is, well, technically there's 2 Thrawn books. The first Thrawn book I've heard on audiobook. I haven't heard the second one yet. I got it, but it's tons of stuff going on. But that's another thing I wanted to say to all my Star Wars fans. People, there is so much Star Wars.
Dude,
you
can
so
let
much go of the Star Wars you don't like. You can just move on to what's great. We have comic books. We have novels. We have movies and TV series and animated series. You can go watch what you like and not focus on what you don't like. Because there's enough out there. There's like 4 or 5 Star Wars titles currently running at the time, like on comic book. Then you got novels. Then we got, like we just finished the very end of Clone Wars. We're getting ready to get some Bad Batch, I believe, next year. Then we got the new movie that Taika Waititi's doing, and he's also going to be doing a TV show. Then we got Obi-Wan coming. We got Acolyte, Ahsoka. Oh, look, there's enough, bro, for you to find something you like.
Dude, like I can't believe that they just like came out and just steamrolled. They were like New Republic, Acolyte's coming, Cassian Andor series, like
mad stuff coming.
Like the fact that they got Hayden Christensen to come back,
especially how the Star Wars community treated him. I'm surprised he can't. But I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure that Czech was like, all right.
I mean, that he gets to work with Ewan again, so it's kind of like,
and we know they're cool.
Yeah, so that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
But like I'm like, here's my thing. I'm excited to see what Patty Jenkins does with a Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, that whole man.
What?
She said she wants to make the best fighter pilot movie ever. So I'm hyped. I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. I'm like, let's do this. Let's do some cool stuff.
I'm excited.
Some people blowing up. Some people well, you can't really eject. I mean, technically you can eject in space. It's like just a life pod or whatever. But still, I want to see some cool stuff. Dog fights, barrel rolls, explosions, and sounds in space. Because I don't care. Give me sounds in space.
I will say this, like we also got the Lando series coming, right?
Yep.
Like Lando's got
hopefully it's Calrissian Chronicles. Hopefully.
Like that would be dope.
But we got the older actor and the younger actor alive at the same time. So it's like, yo, look, man, y'all better stop playing up in here.
but also one thing that they didn't announce was like was it last year where they said the dude who did Slight, I forget what his name is, like JD something, was going to be doing a Star Wars movie. Let me get the name. But like,
I don't know who that is, but
what's that?
More Star Wars. The more Star Wars, the better for me. I'm like, it's like there's some stuff that I dig, some stuff that
JD
I don't.
Dillard.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, JD Dillard, who did Slight. Slight was like dope movie. I haven't seen it. He was supposed to be doing a Star Wars movie. We haven't heard anything about that since it. So I'm wondering if they're still
they might be in the lab right now cooking that up.
Right. But dude, like I'm excited. I'm excited for what Star Wars is gonna become. And like hopefully once COVID is over with, we can get back to the parks, get back to Galaxy's Edge, because I'm trying to get that Cal cast this lightsaber. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
But I guess we should talk about some other stuff. We should talk.
So and with a great segue, Jenna James hooked us up. She says, "What if she cast Gal or Chris, maybe even both, in Rogue Squadron?" And speaking of Gal and Chris, Wonder Woman 84 came out on Friday. This just past Friday, Christmas Day. And there were feelings. It seems to be a lot of angst about Wonder Woman. A lot of people do not like it. There's been a lot of fallout. But inside of that fallout, we've seen a fast tracking of a third movie.
Yep.
I, on second watch, like it even more now, but I know there's other people that are not feeling it. And I know I'm in the minority of people that like it as opposed to people that don't like it. And people have been writing think pieces about, saying how this is wrong, how everything is plot holes everywhere, this, that, and the third, how this is so bad. What do you think this means? Or first, how do you feel about the movie now, since you're removed for it a couple of days? And how do you think that this is going to affect the direction for DC as a whole on the silver and the big screen?
That's a loaded question. But
that's a loaded question.
That's like an onion that I gotta peel back. It's like, okay, I'm gonna approach this in two ways.
All right.
Wonder Woman, I feel like now that they've seen the discourse, because the sentiment is rough. That social sentiment is rough across the board. Like, and like I was someone who like generally liked it, but the tone was like we met, like I talked to you a couple of days ago, like it was different to me. I was like, whoa, this is a different tone that I wasn't expecting. That's not, I generally like what they did. There were some things that were really weird, but I'm like, okay, cool. I think they're gonna really work harder on that story now, because because also here's the thing. Wonder Woman, the first movie came out in 2017, and then we got Wonder Woman 2, 1984 in 2020. Now that Patty's doing Rogue Squadron, there's going to be a lapse in time between now and when that story gets done and when they officially move forward in production on that. So they have all that time to work on the story, get it right. If they're supposed to be concluding the trilogy, they're going to be spending that much time getting that story right. Second point. We will see what happens with the Snyder Cut. Even though that Walter Hamada has said, quote unquote, we look at this film like it really doesn't lead to anywhere. That said, if the Snyder Cut does numbers on HBO Max, there is a world where Zack Snyder can come back and help that story with Wonder Woman, like he did on the first one.
Yeah.
Third part. Walter Hamada was in the press yesterday saying, okay, now what they're doing is they have the multiverse films and then they have the DCEU. Mm-hmm. I don't know where Wonder Woman fits into that yet, because that's a complicated thing where it's like, okay, multiverse. So it's like, okay, Batman, Joker, Robert Pattinson's Batman to be, the new Batman
and Joker are obviously, Elseworld story or multiverse stories.
Yeah.
They're
Whereas
definitely
like
not
the
tied
DCEU.
to. Wonder Woman, in my opinion, would be tied to, of course, the original films like Man of
Yeah.
Steel, BVS, Aquaman, Shazam.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at that. I think even with the tone, I know the tone of Wonder Woman 84 was different, but I actually enjoyed the tone being different. I loved a DCEU that was free from Zack Snyder. Now I know he left for horrible reasons, and that has nothing to do with
Yeah.
that. I'm talking about I don't like his style of filmmaking. Dude, it can't rain and be dark every day. I'm tired of it. So when he left, I saw Aquaman. I was like, huh, look, a whole new world. Then when even Shazam, I was like, yo, Shazam will always be boss. How that dude got through out the window, like straight up. When he said, he was like, you want to take me out? You want to take me out? He said, yo, I might go back and watch it just for that scene alone. But
yeah,
but
Shazam
then they
was
also
dope.
catch an L for putting Megan Good in there. But
Whoa, whoa,
Megan Good, I got love for you, but your acting just, what I'm saying, just But I got love
I'm
for
gonna
you.
have to get you on that one. I'm gonna have to
We
get you
here.
on that one.
But your act.
I'm gonna have to get you on that one. Like, damn.
But with
keep
that
going.
said, I actually like the tone change because I've enjoyed the kind of disassociation away from Zack Snyder. I think the biggest issue with any of these movies is that there's no plan. There's no one steering this ship. Walter's not doing it. Jeff Johns ain't the one to do it. I have seen people saying that they wish Max Lord was the way he was in the comics, and that he was a secret meta that had mind control powers and things of that nature. And I'm down with that. I just think that if we were to do that, we probably need like 2 movies to fill in some time to show people that. And then also with that said, I think people are more geared towards series now, and they're expecting movies to do what series do. When it's like Mandalorian got 10 hours to do what they want. Wonder Woman got 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're because now as consumers we're changing. We're getting back into long form where it's like, yo, let a character build over 10 hours instead of like a quick fire movie. And I think someone who can steer all of this at the same time, DC, I'm right here, holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I think you see me on this channel, you know what I'm saying? Rework the prequels. You see me on this channel, rework your first like 4 or 5 movies up until Aquaman. You see, I got you. Because what you got ain't working. Because people is mad.
I mean,
now, of course, at the same time, whatever I do, people gonna be mad too, but at least it'll be related. Every movie won't look like, hold up, why is this movie?
But here's the thing.
What's going on?
Like, okay, so as far as Zack Snyder's concerned, I generally agree with it, but I love Man of Steel. Like, Man of Steel was like, Man of Steel was like, I was like, okay, this is like what I want to see. It's just different enough to differentiate Cavill Superman from Reeves, Ralph, so like I was cool with that. That said, I think I share a lot of the opinion of how they did Superman at the end of BVS was like, okay.
Or how they did him in BVS. Let's be honest. They did Man of Steel because they couldn't do Batman. Once Zack Snyder got a chance to do Batman at all, we realized that he never really cared about Superman at all. Man of Steel is one good one. One good movie out of 4. Did he do 4 or did he do 3? I think he did 3. Technically, 4-ish, I guess, with Wonder Woman, a little bit of touch on that. So I'll say 3.
See, okay, here's the thing.
One of the 3 ain't really good for me. I do like Man of Steel, and I was excited of Man of Steel. But then BVS, I was like, yo, I think y'all might be rushing this thing, and I was right. And then they came with Justice League, and I was like, bruh, like, don't get me wrong. The 8-year-old in me loves Justice League. 38-year-old in me has questions. Like, it's because it's way too much CGI. It's over the top without real stakes, and it's the same dark doom and gloom kind of thing the whole time. And that's why I think if there was someone over Zack Snyder to kind of like be like, okay, look, yo, man, we can't use that we can't use that filter on everything. Like, take that off. Take that filter off. We can't
See,
put that
that's
on
the
every
thing.
movie.
It's like the thing that Disney has. Kathleen Kennedy is steering Star Wars.
Yeah.
Feige is steering, Marvel Studios. You have Pete Docter working on a lot of the Pixar movies. It's like they have like chief creators. It was John Lasseter before
everything with John Lasseter happened.
Like happening, but like
before we knew what was happening.
Yeah, let's just put it that way. But DC doesn't have that same strategy when it comes to their movies and their TV series. So, but even then, pre-Feige, you had Jeff Loeb running all the TV stuff.
Oh boy!
So it's like, say what you will about Jeff Loeb, I know, but like still, it's like, and I know about Jeff Loeb, but like,
yeah,
it's a lot of that stuff that's going on that I'm like, okay, that's happening. And I think Walter was doing that with Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Suicide Squad. But now it's like, okay, with this new strategy,
Squad had that same kind of color grading, which is just.
I'm talking about the new one, the
new one.
But like, cool, yeah. But like, Walter was doing that, but now that you had Joker and the Batman, it's like, okay, we need a whole new strategy for how we're labeling these films. And I understand why, because the general fan base doesn't know the difference between, general fan base will think, okay, Superman is Marvel and, Iron Man is DC. They don't know left from right. So that's what the genius of the MCU is, that the MCU helps inform who all the stable of the characters and how they relate to each other. Whereas DC, they were doing that a little bit, especially with that end teaser on Shazam where you had Superman come in at the end. But it's kind of like, it doesn't...
Which was lazy.
We ain't
that teaser was lazy.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
That's why I'd be like, yo, like, DC's biggest problem was that they tried to get to the end before they even really started. And now they're trying to sadly pick up the pieces. The only thing is it takes, 2-3 movies to pick up the pieces. And like Jenna James says, I'm guessing they'll resolve some of it in their so-called Flashpoint. And I said that. I was like, yo, honestly, I said that years ago after Justice League, or I said it either after Justice League or BVS. I was like, look, they need to go in and have this Flashpoint film. And then when he gets back, everything's regular, and we still got our same actors and actresses, but everything's what people can expect, and you have a brand new shepherd of all this new content. So, and then you don't have to worry about people mad about this and mad about that. I mean, they're still going to be mad anyway. No matter, make no mistake, if Wonder Woman had done everything that and I'm about to get to a point, had done every single thing that every commenter said it should have did, it would still be a mess. Because in the movie, it proved when everyone gets their wish, guess what? It still ends up as trash because everybody's wishes will sooner or later conflict with another wish. So even if you had a shepherd, because trust me, there's people that crap on Marvel films, and Kevin Feige is killing it. So even if you had a shepherd that was riding the ship and I was like, all right, look, I got all 10, 12, 14 films planned out, and we know there would still be people mad. So I know people are going to be mad. I just want you to have your own plan. And I don't feel like they have their own plan. I feel like Patty Jenkins has her plan. James Wan has his plan. Like, that's how I feel. Zack Snyder has his plan. But there's nobody like, all right, look, this is what DC is going to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all can have y'all little pieces inside, but this is what DC is doing. This is where we're going, and it's a problem out in them streets, y'all. I wouldn't. It's tough. It's tough when you deal with stuff like that. But real quick shout out. Zias in the chat says, "Why is everyone that supports DC got a Latin last name? Like for real, for real. They always capping for that property. Make it make sense." Oh man, really though? Make it make sense though. Oh man, y'all funny. Oh man. And shout out to Blurtish in the house. What up, Blurtish? Nice to see you. What up, what up, what up, what up? Always good to see Keith Cooper. Said Blurtish said all they wanted to do, I guess, is chase MCU and fool folks. People didn't fall for it. Flashpoint is needed greatly. DC doesn't know it, but DC doesn't know it, but all they want to do, of course, is follow the one and only Marvel. And I wish it was different, man. I wish it was different. Like I do. I wish it was different. I wish it changed up. I wish it was, I wish it was different. I do. I really do wish it was different. But what can you do these days? You know what I'm saying? It ain't easy. It ain't easy in these streets. What is it? Who made that comment? All right, cool. Jenna James says the acting wasn't the issue. That screenplay and writing was. I give it up for Gal, Wig, Pine, and Pedro given the script they were given by Johns. I don't understand how he can do a good job with Stargirl and give us this. Because Johns isn't the savior that we all thought he was. Johns is good at a few characters. He doesn't really understand Wonder Woman in that way. I do dig, though, like I said, I dig Wonder Woman as far as the messages that we learn through the characters and the messages that the characters learn. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I really resonated with in the film and actually came through stronger to me on repeat viewings. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I dig a lot and was like, yo, wow, I expected to, end up hating this, but I actually enjoyed it more the second time I ran it. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't see the flaws that people are bringing up when it comes to Wonder Woman. Like, for instance, like people talking about like plot holes or whether it's plot holes or whether it's different
Can you hear me?
Storylines. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's right. Creeping through the fog. You know what I'm saying?
You can't hear me. You can't
see me in the darkness.
You can't see me. My time is now. I'm John Cena.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't see him. But the problems that people see in the film, I do see them, but they just don't affect me the way they affect, you or someone else. For me, the messages that were learned and taught in the movie kind of outweigh like the problems. Like, don't get me wrong, I've heard people talking about like there weren't no Jerry curls, true. There was barely any speaking roles for Black people, true. The fireworks scene was too long, true. The flying scene was too long, true. Stuff like that, I get it. But it just didn't affect me the same way. So not that I'm against them, just that I enjoyed it and actually enjoyed it more on the second watch. And hope that we can see some resolution with this whole Barbara Minerva thing because she's still alive. And I'd assume that she'd still want to chase that power because she wasn't ready to give it up yet. And that could be interesting for the DCEU as a whole if they pull on that thread. You know what I'm saying? If they pull on that thread. And Zia said, after seeing Pedro in this, I could actually see him as a good Doom or Beyonder in the MCU. And Jenna James says, wonder who Patty decides the third film main villain will be. Will it be Cheetah or some combo of Cersei, Dr. Psycho, Giganta, Strife, Eris, Silver Swan, The Firstborn, Queen Clea, or Medusa? you know, I'm always down with, because I'm never against having two villains. I wouldn't mind seeing, but, and this is, go with me because I know some people don't like long movies, but I wouldn't mind seeing a two villain film that's like three hours or something like that, like on some Martin Scorsese style. Now, at the same time, I know 3 hours is asking a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot from viewers. But if you can sit down and binge 4 or 5 hours of, you know, your favorite TV show, which ends up being about 4 hours and 45 minutes, something like that, you can watch a three-hour movie. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm not against that. And I'd like to see Cersei. I'd like to see Barbara trying to regain that cheetah power by going out to like the shamans and stuff. And then I'd also like to see maybe Cersei and Nubia. And I mean, Nubia is not a villain, but seeing Nubia in there to help out because you got two villains, and then you can have them kind of like fighting on some back-to-back style. That could be fun. So yeah. I think that would be cool.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
All right. Yeah, my power went out, bruh. My power just like
word
straight up went up. Like,
wow.
Like the whole neighborhood is just like knocked out.
That's weird because you're not too far from me.
Well, wait, I'm not at my place. I'm at my girlfriend's place. So it's like
okay.
See, but like, so
because I was like, yo, my power probably gonna go off in a second because you right around the way. Like you right around the corner.
I'm like, oh, Feige heard me. Feige heard me,
Feige got to you.
Uh-oh. I'm like, oh no. But yeah, man, I don't know what's gonna happen with this whole DCEU thing. I saw Jenna James went in the chat and was like basically being like, and this is what makes me nervous with Jeff co-producing the GL show for HBO Max. And I'm like,
what?
If it's Green Lantern or Stargirl, you're fine. If it's not, if it's anybody else, that's where it gets tricky. So it's like, and even then, we saw what happened with Jeff when Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern, but that wasn't solely Jeff's fault. So it's kind of like, we got to see what's happening with this joint, man. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and they said Max Lord trying to take out your power. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, Feige was trying to take me out. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we got Max Lord trying to, yo, man, it's tough out there. You know what I'm saying? NERDSoul Light, he gonna be back one day, y'all. NERDSoul Light, he'll be back through. So I guess let's go on and get into some good old rumor territory. Y'all know I hate rumors, but let's go on and get in some rumor territory anyway.
Here we go.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt seems to be rumor, guys, in talks with
caps
Marvel
all
Studios.
Rumor.
All caps on rumor. In talks with Marvel Studios. And it says, quote, now this is once again, this is from CBR.com, y'all. Look, y'all know it's CBR.com. I'm not saying nothing CBR, I'm just saying y'all be having rumors. But anyway, Marvel Studios in talks with Joseph Gordon-Levitt over the holidays. Well, you might say, oh, really? Well, let's click it and see. It says, actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt is rumored to be in contact with at least one Marvel Studios creative. The rumor comes from Murphy's Multiverse. Oh, of course. But
Murphy's tends to be on point though.
Yeah,
they tend to be on point.
You know, I don't like tipping in this, but Murphy's Multiverse.
I know.
Oh, and matter of fact, hold on. Let me put the link in the chat so y'all can see it. Here's the link in the chat, guys. Or like comicbookmovie.com. Oh my God, that's another. Oh God. Anyway, which heard of this news secondhand and confirmed that contact could mean several things for Gordon-Levitt. The site reminds readers that the tip could just mean that Gordon-Levitt, quote, could have sent a happy holidays text to a producer buddy, or it could be something more substantial, like discussing an upcoming role. So, with that said, let's write a whole article. It says the site also speculates that due to Gordon-Levitt's talents as a writer, producer, and director, most notably with 2013's acclaimed drama Don John, that the talk could have been about the actor joining Marvel Studios' creative team. Marvel Studios announced several upcoming television series and films during Disney's Investor Day 2020 that will likely lead to the company expanding its internal talent team, including a Fantastic Four reboot film to be directed by Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home director John Watts. The article goes on, but basically, I guess with this said, Blurter said media takeout for nerddom. So with this said, let's go in and play the speculation game. You know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is out there. Is there something that you think that he's uniquely ready to play or direct or even write with his specific talents? Because the most recently we saw him in what, Project Power?
Yeah.
So most recently we saw him as the cop in Project Power. I think what he had, the Drew Brees jersey. What jersey did he have? I can't remember what he did.
Was it Drew Brees? I know it was a Saints jersey. I know
it was a Saints jersey. I can't remember who jersey he had, but he had a jersey on.
Yeah, I can't remember.
There's enough there. Zia says JGL. I can see him as Reed, Cyclops, Iceman, Silver Surfer, or Nova. You know what?
Nova would be good.
A Nova wouldn't be a bad idea. That helps bolster. That helps bolster the Captain Marvel side of things, which I think needs a lot of help. Because just like Felicity Jones, I've never been super sold on Brie Larson, but you know what I'm saying.
I keep on saying. I keep on saying. Here's the thing with Captain Marvel is, I don't think she had enough time to really put thought to who the character was as Captain Marvel. Like, I like parts of what she did as Captain Marvel. That said, now that she has Cap Marvel 2 will be her third film as Captain Marvel. Yeah. And you have Nia DaCosta coming on. So I think
DaCosta does change the game.
Like, so I think people don't like Brie, but we also got to remember Brie went right in. Her first movie was Endgame. And then she did Captain Marvel after that, as far as filming production. So I think it's like, okay, let's see how she does with this. But also, I ain't got nothing against Brie, because Brie killed it in Scott Pilgrim, Short Term 12. She's been around for a minute, so she can get down.
Yeah, I'm not saying I have anything against her. She just hasn't, besides Scott Pilgrim, she hasn't really. I haven't been excited. I'm one of those people that feel like, outside of Scott Pilgrim, I feel like she's interchangeable with a lot of actresses, that there's nothing particular about her that makes me say like, oh, she is the only one that can be her. Kind of like Chris Hemsworth, even in the first Thor film, you're like, yo, that's Thor. Or like even with Gal Gadot, when you see Wonder Woman, you were like, yo, we were all like, yo, I kind of see it. Like she's killing it as Wonder Woman. Or Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. Or Chadwick Boseman with T'Challa. There's certain actors, and just with her, nothing really blew me away. I didn't hate it. I was just like, oh, okay. Now, I will say I did like her more in Endgame, and that might be because maybe she plays better when the film's not on her shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she plays better when she has an ensemble around her, because I did like her better in that film.
And I think a lot of people think, I think it's like, the important thing is, remember, Endgame is like future, right? Whereas Captain Marvel was like 90s, where it's like she's going to be a little bit more like, she was playing in Asia, so she was kind of rough. So that's the way I kind of like figure it out. Whereas Endgame, she's like a lot more confident, and she's a lot more self-assured. So it's kind of like, that's the way that I see it. But get to the point, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think Nova would be a good title, especially if he's Richard Rider. That would be great. If he was doing,
I'm not mad at that.
I don't know if he can write, direct, and then act, because that's a lot for someone to do as far as a superhero movie. But if
having
he was
someone
like
with those talents as an actor can help shoulder the burden of maybe a new director, if they want to bring a new director in, and it can be like kind of co-directed as him. So maybe he can like step in and help out and give tips, or even help out with the story if there's certain dialogue issues or whatever like that. Because having someone who's multifaceted, even if you're like, he's going to be our actor, it does allow him to help fill out and help out other actors with their scenes and blah, blah, blah. If you want to bring in new people, along with him in kind of like an ensemble situation.
And I will say that JGL, he's a heavy hitter. He's not a heavy hitter. He's not a heavy hitter in the sense of Downey post Endgame, but he's still a heavy hitter. He's still A-list. So I think it's like,
he's solid.
He's solid.
I don't think I've ever seen him like slip it in a movie or something like that.
No. Like, I give him a pass about G.I. Joe.
Man.
But
hold on, was it G.I. Joe? Was it the first one or the second one?
First one.
He was in he was in the first one.
But
the second one I kind of rock with. Like, low key, I rock with the second one.
I was like, okay. Like,
I mean, the Rock's
like,
in it. Come on, man.
I mean, but like, yeah, it was cool. But like JGL, I'm thinking, okay, I think my ideal for him would be like, okay, you are writing the Nova movie and you are Richard Rider. But as far as directing, you can work with the director, but you get a choice of who we bring on as the director.
Yeah.
Who do you want to work with?
Word
to
up.
best, like,
Blurdy said maybe he's going to direct Squirrel Girl.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Squirrel Girl, you know what could really, we're kind of closing chapters on some characters. And I mean, now would be a good time, after this whole snap thing, to introduce a Squirrel Girl. Of course, the whole idea of her powers are going to be tough to try to explain on screen. Like, just like if you were to say, let's put Mojo in a movie, you'd be like, well, we can. But to try to explain Mojo World and all that, it's going, because it'd be like, all right, cool. This woman has a squirrel's tail, right? And she speaks with squirrels. She speaks with squirrels and controls squirrels. And like, she's even defeated like the squirrel god or something like that. Like, it's gonna be a lot. But at the same time, we have a talking tree and a talking raccoon. So we can make this happen. We can figure out a way to make it like,
dude, a movie with Squirrel Girl, a Rocket, a movie with like Squirrel Girl, Rocket, and Groot.
Yo, you know what? I wouldn't mind that.
That would be fire.
That would be a very interesting. Even if we just got a short film on Disney Plus where they go on one mission together, like say like 40, 50 minutes, something like that, like how anime does little OVAs and stuff. Like, man, that would actually be kind of tight. I wouldn't be against it.
That would be like if you had James Gunn exec producing it and it was someone with like his same flavor. It's like, okay, you get like not all of the Lonely Island, but you get like someone like Andy Samberg to like come and do like this treatment, just like it's completely off the wall. That would be dope. Like, oh man, that would be kind of dope.
Blurdy said no worse than that Cheetah. I actually like the Cheetah. You want to know why? Because Cheetah to me looks how Cheetah should look. She looked like an abomination. She looked like it. Like Wonder Woman looked at her like, "Yo, Barbara, what did you do? What did you do to yourself?" I actually like that she looks like some kind of cobbled together abomination that's so ugly compared to the beautiful person she used to be. But that's a whole other thing. That's thematic stuff that I get into and whatever. But yeah, as far as JGL, I'm not mad at it. If it happens, I don't know. This is stories like this. I feel like they be reaching mad hard, but you never know. I'm down for Nova though. I'm down for Nova.
That would be dope.
I'm down for Captain Marvel 2 because Nia DaCosta. Yo, man, Candyman.
No, dog. As soon as dude,
Bruh, we ain't get
I do,
Candyman this year. Put
dude,
it on streaming. We're not going back to movie theaters right now. It's all
dude.
right. It's going to be a while before people feel safe about going in public.
Yeah,
Put it on streaming. I want to see Candyman. All right. I haven't seen Ghostbusters. I haven't seen Candyman. I haven't seen Black Widow. I haven't seen. There's tons of stuff I ain't seen. All right. Put it on
bro.
streaming. Stop it.
Let's. Do you know what I realized today? I was like, oh wait, we still haven't seen the trailer for the Eternals. Like,
Yeah.
like
The Eternals,
like
which
I was
man.
I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Man,
I'm like, wait, like we're on hold. We still got Shang-Chi coming. like we got Shang-Chi coming. We got all this stuff coming, and like we don't even know.
Disney,
We
stop
don't.
it. Put it out.
I mean, but
Get them
they're not
subscribers
going to.
up.
But here's the thing. That's why we have WandaVision coming in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Then in March we got Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then hopefully by May we're in a better place to go see Black Widow in May.
Yeah.
And then Eternals, then Shang-Chi, and then next December we get Spider-Man 3. So it's like
I ain't going to no theater. You can just tell me how it was, or maybe Disney can open up a drive-in where I can come in and keep my windows up and look at it. But I ain't going to no enclosed space. Stay in my butt at home. You know what I'm saying?
I will
Protect
ask you. Now that we know that we have all these Disney Plus shows coming, we got Ironheart, Armor Wars, Secret Invasion. Yep. Oh man, like what are you looking forward? What are you looking forward to? Hawkeye.
There's so many that I'm interested in for different reasons. Like WandaVision, I think WandaVision might be my top because WandaVision leads into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And the name of that alone is so crazy that I'm like, something crazy has to go on in WandaVision. But then I look at the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that feeds my Mission Impossible, kind of like James Bond, espionage kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, snap, like secret documents, you know what I'm saying? Secret societies, people going out to kill folks.
Racism.
And stuff. Racism is going to be up in that joint. It's going to be a whole lot. Because you best believe, if they make it seem like, oh, everybody's just happy about Falcon becoming Captain America, I'm going to be like Disney. Because don't forget, Disney might try to play that joint off, but Marvel does have a little control. Because remember, 42, the movie about Jackie Robinson, made it seem like he experienced like 2 racist incidents in his whole life.
But it's like
I still wish that Spike Lee would have been able to make that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I get you.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of this ain't my Captain America, and be like, look, yours or not, I'm still here to save you. So get out the way. I got things to do.
Dude, and let's not forget, there's a lot of conversation out there that Carl Lumbly is gonna be Isaiah Bradley. So like,
yo, really?
Yeah,
I love Carl Lumbly. Yo, shouts to Mantis. Mantis was there deep back when we ain't have no superheroes. Mantis held us down on Fox. Matter of fact, shouldn't Mantis be on Disney Plus? Let me go look for that. Mantis should be on Disney Plus or Hulu, something like that. Mantis was fire. All right, straight up.
But also, he was also an Alias. My man was dope in Alias.
Right, and he does the voice of
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in the trailers, but the rumor is like a lot of like last year when like Falcon and Winter Soldier was getting to production, like Carl Lumbly was joining the cast as Isaiah Bradley. I was like, what? And that would track because if they're introducing Isaiah Bradley, then they're gonna have to introduce Patriot because they're obviously getting Young Avengers going.
And if they do, does that leave a door open for someone like Blue Marvel, which changes the game?
Hey, Marvel,
you know what? I gotta go back and watch that and read that Ultimates run. Matter of fact, anyone who's in the chat, or even you, if y'all have read that Ultimates run with Blue Marvel, Black Panther, I think it was Captain Marvel, all them. If y'all have read that run, I'm feeling like going back and reading it and checking that out, and reviewing that. That was a dope run. But yeah, Carl is the man. Don't sleep. Carl is that dude. Much love to Carl. Like, I'm super psyched.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yo,
Deadline broke it earlier this year.
I'm
Jeff
super
Boucher.
excited about that. Oh man. So with that
Yeah,
said,
like, yeah, that's gonna be
we've got a
dope,
lot. How about you? What are you excited about?
bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Secret Invasion is my joint. Like, I am
Man,
like,
Secret Invasion was the last great crossover of Marvel. I said it. It is. It is. It's the last great crossover. No crossovers have been worth it in Marvel Comics since Secret Invasion.
all right,
I know.
man,
I
you
know
said it.
somebody's going to. I know somebody's going to raise their hand with Avengers versus X-Men. I know. I know somebody's about to raise their hand.
Someone's gonna say something. I'm
I
just
know
telling you that
somebody's
now.
about to raise their hand about that Phoenix Force, and the Phoenix Force was cool. But I don't think Avengers versus X-Men is better than Secret Invasion. I think Secret Invasion is
Secret
better.
Invasion, dude. Secret Invasion, man. Like, it's been done. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes did an adaptation of it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I went back and just watched that run because of the news. But like, I'm excited for that. The fact that you have Sam Jackson doing a Disney show, a Disney Plus show, and you got Ben Mendelsohn is coming back as Talos. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, Mendelsohn is like, I'm looking forward to that joint.
That's gonna be sweet.
It's gonna be dope.
Because that's another thing I love about like the whole like who's who kind of body snatchers type vibe. That man,
bro, that joint, it looks fire. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And then Hawkeye, I think, dude, Hawkeye is like my next second.
Yeah, I forgot. Blurted said Secret Invasion was good. It closed the Civil War. Yeah, Avengers versus X-Men was trash for the Black Panther and Storm divorce. Yep. That's why. Yep. There was trash. Whack. Y'all made Storm and Black Panther get divorced in like 2 years when Reed and Sue been together forever. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that mess. You know what I'm saying? Look, hashtag Black Love, hashtag Black Marriage.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, it's gonna be dope. But like, Hawkeye, I'm excited that Haley Steinfeld is finally confirmed for Kate Bishop.
Okay, cool. And I like
that's
her,
happening.
So I'm down.
That's happening. And then we obviously know by the title treatment and the fact that they're bringing in Kate, that they're doing they're doing an adaptation of the Matt Fraction run.
At least a little bit of it.
Yeah, like like a little bit of it, but they're gonna be taking on that Matt Fraction one, which everyone likes, the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye. So
I don't think I heard any bad press about the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye at all.
Dude, I was in Hall H last year when they announced it, and everybody knew when they saw that title treatment come on the screen, and then you saw the woman, the girl, like silhouette of the girl. I was like, oh, they're doing Hawkeye. So
and Haley Steinfeld is dope, man. I think she's cool. I don't think there's a movie that she's in that I don't like. Like
dope in Bumblebee.
So this is what I mean about the Brie Larson thing. Like, if you cast Haley Steinfeld, I'd be like, you know what? No, keep her. I don't want to swap her with anyone. There's no one that I want to swap her with. But yeah, she's dope. And then of course, that'll give Hawkeye a little more credence. You know what I'm saying? A little, so we'll see.
And then She-Hulk, man. Like,
Marvel got some stuff.
Dude, this is what I'm saying, man. I'm like,
once again, like, this brings me back to my Star Wars thing. We got way too much stuff to enjoy. We haven't even touched, because we had an hour and 16 minutes. We ain't even gotten into the Pixar stuff if that's what you like. You know what I'm saying? So like, there is too much coming out for you to enjoy, for me to hear people hating on stuff. Like, just let it go.
And I will say, in the spirit of what 2020 has been, I think we all need to be a little bit more positive and be like, look, okay, this might not be my bag, but here's this thing. I'm sure someone will appreciate that. And I think that's where my vibe is, especially because like the discourse of Wonder Woman 84 did surprise me because we haven't had a superhero movie all year. We've had new movies come out, but it's been like drip.
We got,
and so I was like, guys, this is how we're approaching Wonder Woman 84. I'm like,
we got
okay,
Bloodshot, I think, but I mean, that's a
but
very different type.
very different type, and that
Yeah.
was like right around when the pandemic was like starting to like
But
rear its ugly
remember,
head.
the community already is prepped to nitpick, and they haven't had nothing
Yeah.
to nitpick all year long.
True, you're right.
So once that Wonder Woman came out, there was like, aha!
Like I was
you.
like, dang! Like it wasn't like I woke up and watched the movie at like noon on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
An hour and it finished. I'm seeing all these hot takes about Wonder Woman on 84 on Twitter. I was like, whoa! I was like,
yeah, because I didn't watch it until I think it was. Yeah, I want to say Friday night. It was Christmas, like that night, like late that night when I actually watched it. So that it's wow. Yeah. And see, I stayed away from social because I was like, I don't want to, hear anybody's whatever. I wanted to just watch it straight through. I watched it with my wife, and I was like, you know what, that won't too bad. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit on this. I'm gonna watch it again. And then I saw people. I was like, ooh, man, people hate it. I was like, good. I got to get some people together because that'll be me liking it, and then a whole bunch of people not liking it, and then we can hash it out.
I mean, we'll see what happens. And I think that's a good point. That when WandaVision drops, we need to do the same thing week over week.
Yeah,
like
I'm down with that.
Because we should do that. Because
I'm down with that.
I think because at that point it will have been almost a year. It'll be in a year, almost a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half of having no MCU content. So
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready for.
Blurtish said Keitha Blurtish said best superhero movie of the year, My Hero Academia, and I agree. Yo, straight up, what was it? Heroes Rising this year? Yo, man, Heroes Rising was kind of dope. Like I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm not hip.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. That Heroes Rising was on point. Like that Heroes Rising was that hotness.
I guess I need to get hip then. I need to get hip.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. I try to be hip, but I'm a busy black man in these streets, like trying to keep up with everything, dude.
Yo, you out there fighting a good fight for us. You doing that. Hove did that, so we ain't had to go through that. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the Jay-Z reference. I keep one eye open like CBS, you heard?
Oh, snap. See,
there you go. Oh man.
So yo,
that's
with that said, we have exercised the demons. Big shout out to Blurtish, ZSB Lou, Jenna James, Thomas D, Marquise Collins, maybe. No, I don't know if I said it, but still peace to him anyway. Shouts out to Panda, Tyler Bennett, Thought Crimes that usually come through and say what up. Before we get out of here, you know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Sharknado director.
No. I'll step out. Yo, I'm about to be like, what's his face?
Like, no.
No. What's his face? Batroc the Leaper just being like, no, I'm not doing that.
Sharknado director. Also, once again, voted most likely to keep one eye open like CBS. Clement Bryant.
What's good, man? Twitter, Instagram, at Clement Bryant. I'll have conversations with you once my power gets back on.
Yeah.
I pay my bills.
Yeah, don't worry about them bills. This Max Lord.
like, yo, I don't know what happened, man. This whole neighborhood, but like, man, like, I guess I'm not gonna be watching Marvel stuff tonight. But follow me. We'll talk about it.
Man, with that said, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. But if you hit that thumbs down, guess what's going to happen? Scroll's going to come to your house and take over your whole family. You ain't going to know who you living with. All right.
No, that's just too much.
podcast for them sounds. And of course, Spotify for that music. We're leaving y'all with Arcatron, Made the Space Bridge, He Dope. So you know what it is. And from us to you, we just say peace.
Later, y'all.
We out, y'all. See y'all next time.
Peace.
Yeah.